don't exactly know how to title this video, because this house is so many different things. Not only is it kind of like an eco house, not only is it a garden house, not only is it a starter house, but it also has like a very modern feel, but it's kind of wooden as well. It's very survival friendly on top of that, so I just don't know what to call this thing, but it's a very simple idea, but it looks so incredibly awesome. So the idea is very simple. We have several circles that overlap each other, that get taller, and on each one of these circles we have a garden. So, very simply, you would start down at the base here on the left, and you would work your way all the way up, walking all the way up on these garden terraces, and this is the outer part of the house, which is also an inbuilt garden. You do have another way to get up here, which is a ladder on the right of the build. We even have a little bit of a porch area on the back, and the inside of the build, it's not that big, but it is very cozy and very nice. Inside here we have plenty of room, and you can dig into the terraces, by the way, to have even more room. Inside here we have an awesome little survival starter house. Like I said, it's so many different things, I just don't know what to call it, but I love this house, and I love the idea, and I hope that you guys do too. If you do like this video, please do remember to smack that like button, really helps me out. Also, if you do enjoy the content, subscribe to the channel. If you subscribe, say hello and click the little bell next to the subscription button to ensure that you get all my videos sent directly to your sub box. But without any further ado, let me show you how to make this awesome little house. So, if you want to make it, here's what you'll need. Grab yourself some oak wood, some grass blocks, some oak wood stairs, some oak wood planks, some glass, some spruce wood slabs, some oak wood fence, some ladders, some oak doors. You'll also need a diamond hoe, or any sort of hoe really, some seeds, and some flowers, but we'll talk about those things later. So once you have all of these materials right here, and once you've figured out where you want to make it, and by the way, this house will actually fit into a 15 block, that's 15 blocks coming across the front, by a 14 block area, that's 14 blocks going towards the back, so it's a very small house indeed. So if you want to, you can construct this very same rectangular shape in your world if you like, and if you do, you want to start on the very front left hand corner of your rectangle, and you want to move in to the right by 2, and on top of this block you want to place an oak wood. Now look down at the ground like this at your oak wood, and do 2 up left diagonals from that oak, 1, 2. Go up by 2, 1, 2. Do 2 up right diagonals, 1, 2. Go right by 2, 1, 2. Do 2 bottom right diagonals, 1, 2. Down by 2, 1, 2. 2 bottom left diagonals, 1, 2. Left by 1. So that is a circle that we now have on the ground. Now we're going to fill this circle in with grass or dirt or whatever. It's completely up to you what you fill it in with. But bear in mind, this is going to be exposed, and this is going to be part of the garden. So once you've done that, you want to take the very center of your circle, and you want to place an oak wood in the center. From this oak wood, you want to, looking down at the ground, do 2 up left diagonals, 1, 2. You then want to extend that second block backwards by 2, 1, 2. Then you want to do 2 up right diagonals, which is tricky because this is in the air, 1, 2. Go right that second diagonal by 2, 1, 2. Do 2 bottom right diagonals, 1, 2. Down by 2, 1, 2. Do 2 bottom left diagonals, 1, 2, and then go left by 1 to give you this shape. So as you can see, same shape, we've just overlapped it, and it's a little higher in the air. So fill this in with grass block like that. We can mess about with the oak wood later. So once you've done that, the next thing we want to do is we want to come all the way to the back center oak wood block that we have right here, this one. Place an oak wood on top of it. Go back from this oak wood block by 1. Do 2 up right diagonals from that block, so that'll look like 1 and 2. Like that. I know this is tricky since it's kind of in the air. Go right by 2, 1, 2. Do 2 bottom right diagonals, 1, 2. Down by 2, 1, 2. Do 2 bottom left diagonals, 1, 2. Left by 2. Do 2 upper left diagonals. So once again, we have this circular shape. This time, it's a little bit offset, but it's the same idea. We then want to fill this in with grass block, like this, and then we can do the next circle. And we only have 2 more of these to do, so like that. We then want to come all the way up to the, and this is a little bit tricky to describe the position, but we want to come all the way up to the top back of the circle. We want to take this right hand block in this row of 3, and we want to place an oak wood on top of it. From this oak wood block, we want to do an upright diagonal, go right by 2, do 2 bottom right diagonals, 1 and 2, down by 2. Now, where this gets tricky is that we now want to do a bottom left diagonal, go down by 1, do a bottom right diagonal, come towards you by 2, 1, 2, do 2 bottom left diagonals, 1, 2, go left by 2, then you want to do 2 up left diagonals, so that's 1, 2, like that, go backwards by 2, 1, 2, then do an up right diagonal, up by 1, up left diagonal, up by 2. So, you want to have a shape which should look like that. It actually looks like the number 8, like that. Perfect. Fill the entire top of this in with grass blocks. And it does, of course, want to look like the number 8 because this is where the entrance is going to be. This is the highest point of our garden, terrace, starter, survival, wooden house, whatever you want to call this thing. So it wants to look like that. And what we now want to do is quite simple. So we want to take this row of 3 that we have at the front of our house, this row of 3 right up at the top here. We want to extend these 2 blocks, this left hand one and this right hand one. In this row of 3, we want to extend them outwards towards us by 1, and we want to connect them down to the ground in this fashion. This is where the entrance is going to be. So, what we want to do is we want to take the 2 bottom oak wood blocks that touch the floor. We want to place an oak wood plank behind the left hand block, and behind this oak wood plank block, we then want to go left by 1, up by 1, left by 1, up by 1. So, we want to form this pattern, if that makes sense. We want to do the exact same pattern, leaving a gap of 1. So if we leave a gap of 1 between the oak wood that we've just made, we want to leave a gap of 1, and we want to do the same thing coming up. So an oak wood behind that block, left, back, left, and then back, like this. We'll take into consideration all the holes and stuff later. We'll fill those in as we need to. So that's this left-hand bit. This right-hand bit is very similar. We want to take the bottom of the right-hand row of oak wood. We want to place an oak wood plank behind it. Right, back, like this. We want the same pattern, leaving a gap of 1 above. So place 1 behind, to the right, back, right, back, like this. Place an oak wood coming outwards from each one of those planks, connect them together, and then raise that top oak wood upwards, like this. We then want to, 1 row behind and to the right of this row of oak wood that we want to have another row of oak wood. This is where we're going to have a set of ladders that will allow us to go up and down the garden house. Then, you want to have another row of oak wood coming outwards diagonally to the right from the ladder, like this. Exact same thing that we have on the left. Now, the last thing we want to do in regards with this is, behind this row of oak wood that you've just made, you want to take this bottom back oak wood block, you want to place a plank behind it, to the right. Back, right, like this. So the same pattern that we've done a few times. Leaving a gap of 1 up above, we want to do the same thing. So we want to place the same pattern of oak wood just above this, like that. Then we want to add a couple of features to this house. So we also want to add a porch to the back of the house. We're just going to add we're going to take these 2 oak wood blocks, and we're going to place an oak wood fence coming down from each one of these 2 random oak wood blocks like this. So we want to place a fence like this, 2 fences coming down, and then an oak wood on the ground. And then it looks as though the back of this house is actually supported like that. We also want to form this house into a solid shape, so we have to take the edge of each one of the terraces, the edge of the circles of the garden, and we have to connect them down to the ground using our oak wood like this. So we take the edge of the garden and we kind of want to connect them down, but when we get to the porch area, it's not so simple. We don't want to connect all of it down. So we want to come to the inside of the house here, and we kind of just want to decide how much room we want to have on the inside of this house. And I don't want much room at all. You can see that we've actually got quite a bit of room to venture into the house if we want to, but I'm going to limit the space. I'm going to say that I want the house to be about this big. So about that big in total. Like this. I'm just going to seal up the inside of the house. And yeah, that looks fine. Then we've got quite enough room in here. That's perfect. And all we've got to do now is just patch the outside a little bit. So, like when it comes to the back here, you can see that we've got a lot of this space. So now I'll connect the terrace downwards like this. I'll place rows of oak wood here, so that everything's kind of like locked and sealed together, if that makes sense. And it just looks nice like this. Now, the next thing we have to do is in regards to the oak wood planks that we placed, because we want to take spruce wood slabs and we want to place spruce wood slabs like coming outwards from the base of the oak wood planks. So we want to place spruce wood slabs in front of the base of the oak wood planks that are on the bottom floor. We want to take the upper row of oak wood planks and we want to place spruce wood slabs coming out of the upper part of the oak wood planks like this. So like that, and like this, and like, we also have to do it here like this, here, and like here. We have to fill this in with we'll fill that in with like oak wood. Or maybe we'll place a plank in here and we'll have the spruce wood slab come as far back as that, like this. We also have to place a spruce wood slab. Let me make sure I've got the position right. We also have to connect the door together as well. So we're going to have a door here, like in this position. So we have to place like an oak wood plank just above this. And that also means that we can place a spruce wood slab in front of that, so everything flows together nicely. When it comes to the windows of the house, we're going to place a row of glass on like as few oak wood plank blocks as possible, which kind of means like in a diagonal line like this. Like if you can kind of see what I've done, like we kind of want to create a layer of depth with the glass blocks like this. And we also want to use as little glass as possible. So if we place it here, it kind of looks a bit boring, but if we knock those out, then we kind of have a little bit of depth. And we want the same sort of thing on the back, so in kind of like taking up as little space as possible, we want to do that. And that just looks great at that, it just looks nice, like so. And then when it comes to doing the rest of the house, walking up the like garden terraces and stuff, it's easier if you throw like an oak wood stair in certain positions. If you like, you don't have to. It's just easy if you like throw some stairs in so that you can walk up, but you can easily hop up as it's only 1 block high anyway, like that. And if you want to decorate these, I would highly suggest grabbing a hoe, some seeds, and some of your favourite flowers, whatever those might be, like this. So I would add quite a few patches of like farmland to your terrace house. Add it in kind of like random areas. Add it where you think it will look good, but also add it in places that you don't want to get in the way of, if that makes sense. So you kind of want to add it in places that you know that aren't going to like be disrupted. You don't want to have to walk through the farmland at all. Everywhere else, and make sure that you don't overfill the areas. That's a massive concern, is making sure that you don't add a little too much to the house, because it's such a difficult balance, and I know how difficult it is. It's such a difficult balance to actually place just the right amount of flowers and just the right amount of stuff. Like, I know how hard that is, because I struggle with it myself, but just plant a nice little balance. I don't actually want that land to be, like, hoed like that. I'm sure that will revert at some point. So there is, like, a nice little balance that can be struck, like placing all of this stuff. You'll just have to kind of like figure that bit out for yourself though. So that looks quite nice, and it'll look even nicer once the land has actually grown. And that's pretty much the entire outside of the build. When it comes to the inside of the build, you of course don't have too much room in here, but you should absolutely capitalize on it by placing like so that's a nice glowstone light in the center of the ceiling. That works quite well. I'm going to add some like spruce wood to connect to it, because that'll look quite nice. Like that. Yeah, that looks pretty good. We obviously need a bed. We want some chests, some crafting tables, that sort of stuff. So I can throw a bed in the back corner here. Or, yeah, in the back corner there. Why not? It can go there. We can even knock out a few blocks. I kind of did this in the original version of this. We can like knock out a few blocks, and we can kind of like fill in. We can kind of like fill in around here. We can like create shelves and stuff like this. I'm trying to figure out exactly how I want to do it, because of course wherever you delete a block, you've got to replace a block as well. So if I throw a bed here maybe, and then I put like a crafting table and a furnace here, and then if I add like a flower pot here just above the bed, maybe like here, maybe I could put like a painting just behind the bed. That might look quite nice. Or will it look silly? I don't know. I was kind of hoping for a double painting, something like that. I don't know. We can even add, like I said, like we can add some more chests here and here. We can even add an oak wood, or maybe even like a spruce wood slab, and we can throw a plant pot on there. We can completely reform the floor using a mixture of like oak wood and spruce wood. I'm going to try and not delete underneath the bed and stuff, but we could absolutely recreate the floor like this. I wish I had some stairs in here as well. Stairs would actually look quite nice, but we're kind of like cobbling together a nice floor here. Looks quite good. It looks quite organic as well, which is kind of perfect. So maybe like that, and maybe like that, just to leave those 2 blocks alone. And that's not a bad interior at all, and it doesn't take much time to do. And of course, yours would look better if you spent more time on it. But yeah, that's not a bad looking interior in the slightest. So you could go with something like this for the interior. It feels very messy, feels very nice, feels very lived in. And that's pretty much the house, guys. If you want to decorate the outside in any more ways, shapes, or forms, and of course, I'm sure that you can do that no problem. But there it is. Hopefully, you guys have enjoyed this video. Hopefully, you have your very own like garden, terrace, starter, modern, something house. It's kind of cool, because it really is like such a mishmash of different things. Like it's got a very modern style, especially in like the actual like where all of the oak wood planks, like the living spaces. Yeah, it's made out of wood, yet it is of course eco, it is of course garden. It's very starter friendly, very survival friendly. I don't know, it's so many things. Hopefully you guys liked the video. If you did, please smack that like button. Also consider subscribing to the channel. If you subscribe, say hello down there in the comment section down below. If you do subscribe, please also click the little bell to make sure that you get all my videos sent directly to your sub box. Comment down below and do let me know if you do want to see some more stuff on the channel, and what do you want to see specifically. I would absolutely love to know. As you might be able to tell, just from me spinning around in my world, we do all sorts of different things around here. We don't just stick to one thing. So when you comment, bear that in mind. I do everything. Also, please, if you do want to check out the rest of the channel, check out the card system in the description below. It's a great place. I make all sorts of stuff. That's another garden house that I've made recently. That's another survival house. That's a Nintendo Switch house. That is a Logan/Wolverine house. This is a custom Enderman Nether portal. And if we move over this direction, we have so many more things. We have so many more builds. Please check out the channel. Check out all the card system and all of this playlists and all the description below and all that fun stuff. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you had a great day. I hope you enjoyed the build more than anything. And